Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the BLUETTI EB70 portable power station. Now, devices like this are ideal for people like myself. I went through Hurricane Sandy years ago, lost 2 cars, thought that was bad, living through some near freezing temperature with no power in an apartment building, and then Hurricane Matthew back in 2016 destroyed my home. So I know what it is to go through some storms. Now, I always evacuate after Sandy. I made that my policy. When in doubt, get the hell out. But these devices are great if you just lose power or you're camping and you want to have an affordable and efficient way to keep things topped off. This is not a whole home generator, although I don't really believe in those. That's another story for another time. But this is ideal for so many applications. So right now it retails for roughly $600 US. I will include a link in the description. 716 watt hours is the total capacity on this lithium iron phosphate battery. 700 watts is the literal rated power. You can charge this up using their included charger, which takes between 3 and 4 hours. That's what I've read in order to charge it up. You can also connect this to a solar panel, which is incredibly common, but what isn't is that BLUETTI includes the cable to do so. 200 watts is also the accepted input from a panel, so probably 5, maybe 6 hours to charge up using a solar panel, depending on conditions. That, you know, a perfect world in terms of conditions. And this is ideal for, you know, charging essentially power tools, smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops. You can power a TV, you can power lighting. You're just, you know, a mini fridge. You're not going to be able to power larger appliances though. Portable air conditioners, you're flirting with just a little bit too much juice for this. You'll have to step up to their next level of product for that. And that's when you are flirting more so with really something that is getting closer to whole home generation. So you're looking at, you know, a generator, I should say. So 1,000 to 2,000 watt systems. This even has a Qi charger, a 15 watt Qi charger on the top of it, which you'll see in a moment. It's fairly heavy. It's about, I think it's like 25, 24 pounds. They write family, office, travel, camping, school, disaster, which is what I was talking about, medical. They're talking about CPAP machines, which is a really common use with these two in the event of having a power outage, and business. But let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. It is a bit of a beast. And you can see at the top, this is the steel gray color, 100 to 120 volt. Let's go ahead and pop it open. And you know, these things are becoming more and more affordable, and I think that's the reason they deserve more and more attention. And in these times where weather is becoming more and more extreme and we're seeing more storms than ever, again, you could just use this for camping, but I don't think it's a bad idea to have one of these in your home. And that's why when companies reach out to me with this, even though this isn't standard fare for the Digital Digest, it is unfortunately part of my life. And that's regardless of what part of the East Coast I'm living on. So the first thing we're hit with is some BLUETTI paperwork. So we've got the certificate of QC control that we've got to pass, and the user manual, and then warranty. Those are the first 2 things you're going to be greeted with, and I'll come back to that. Then inside of this box, I presume we've got our cables. And at this point, what I think I'm going to do is just pull the unit out, and there you see it. Get the box off of the table. Let's see if I can get like that they've got a built-in handle here. So let me go ahead, and I'm actually going to bring this off of the desk here. And again, it is fairly heavy, but none of these things are really lightweight. They range. You know, the lithium iron phosphate batteries are still heavy, but lighter than days past where they were leaning on traditional lithium, to my knowledge. And there you have it. The Qi charger right there at the top, I really like that they have this built in. I like that the handle has its own little storage compartment. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's novelty, but also really functional. And then essentially we've got ventilation on both sides, because this does need to actively cool itself. On the back, nothing really to see. but all of the activity is right here on the front. So on the front we have a dedicated light, which is something really common for these power stations to incorporate. LCD screen here for readout in terms of the actual charging process as well as the output. And then we have independent stations. So we've got an input right here for 12 volt and 200. This is going to be what you're going to use to charge this thing up. And then you have a power switch here and here. Now, I accidentally hit that, but what I really like about this device is that we've got two Type-C ports here with power delivery of 100 watts. This is one way, it's not two way, but that is significant. Most of these devices on the market do not give you that much output, let alone if they do, they usually have one, not two. In the event you need Type A ports, they still support them, which is good. You've got two 12 volt for DC adapters, then the good old cigarette lighter, and then on this side, of course, 4 traditional plugs. And basically, this is everything you're going to need. And most of these mid-range power stations with similar watt-hour ratings don't necessarily have this much going for them when it comes to their range of I/O. So this is a pretty good, I would say, overall package in terms of what this $600 unit is delivering. Plastic build, but fit and finish seems nice on it to me. And again, I really like that we've got that Qi charger at the top. Rubber feet at the bottom. Not a whole lot else to show. If I go ahead and power it on, right now the battery does not have a charge, so I'm going to have to get this thing topped off. But this is, you know, it's a pretty nice product in terms of, I mean, what it looks like. And I mean, we're talking about power stations here, right? So it doesn't have to be beautiful, but I happen to think this one looks pretty sharp. Let's see what's inside the package that comes with, and it's exactly what I thought. It's the power brick, which is fairly beefy. And again, I believe that the charge time on this is going to be somewhere around 3 to 4 hours. So I will test that out. It's got a cooling fan on the actual brick. And then, of course, we have the input for the actual power to wall. And that's what you're going to plug into that in order to charge it. And then, of course, the other end goes into that 12 volt port. Now we've got the cigarette lighter, car adapter, I should call it. The days of cigarette lighters are over, even though that's what it came from. A little Velcro to keep the wires in place, to bundle them up. And then, of course, this is one of the things that makes this really unique, because this is your adapter for connecting this to a solar panel. And as I mentioned, 200 watt delivery. Now, they did not include a solar panel. Maybe that's something they'll give me down the road. I do not, I mean, I have some solar panels here, but nothing that's going to be able to supply 200 watts to this bad boy. So this is really nice to have. Again, in the event of a power outage or you're camping, this kind of gives you unlimited power if you've got a 200 watt panel, because as mentioned, the actual adapter for charging this up is 200 watts. So you're talking about getting near the same equivalency from solar panels. Not quite, because obviously the throughput, constant delivery isn't there. Even if you have ideal conditions, it's still going to be slower, but still, that's really nice to have right out of the box. Native capability to just plug this into the 12 volt and start charging it up once you've connected these to your solar panel of choice. And of course, BLUETTI does make a solar panel for this. Originally, I thought they were going to send it. Actually, in fact, originally they were going to send me the higher end unit, but they ended up sending me this. Hopefully down the road, we end up seeing something else, because these are something, I mean, hurricane season is still in full effect here till the end of the year, as far as I'm concerned. It's just a fact of life. And these things are great to have, even just in the event of a power outage. You know, whole home generators, they're good to have, but my whole theory on that is that if you need a whole home generator, you probably shouldn't be in town. And to spend, you know, 10 to 15,000 on one, to have a gas powered one when, you know, it's just a regular outage in your neighborhood, you likely will see power if it's not storm related, as in hurricane, like natural disaster storm related. it's probably going to come back quick enough that if you really wanted to go stay at a hotel, you could stay at a pretty nice hotel and keep that $10,000 to $15,000. And I'm not saying you should do that, but that's just kind of how my brain works. So I really appreciate where manufacturers are going with these products. I think they're smart, they're incredibly useful, and I'm excited to get this thing charged up and start using it and see how it performs. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.